Hey everybody, welcome back to Passionate About Music Education, and I'm Rachel Hardman. And I was having a really great chat with one of my friends who, like myself, has been teaching for a long time. And we were having a good old chat yesterday, catching up on all our news. But in the conversation, we started talking about teaching, and we were talking about going back this year and what that looked like. And it was interesting that as we were talking about it, we were talking about our anxiety and our stress and, some of the fears that we have going back to work, not just about how the safety aspect, but more about how do we keep teaching our curriculum and our students to the standard that we normally do with so many restrictions and so many unknowns. And then we were talking about, but it's always quite stressful, so at the beginning of a school year. So I wanted to pop on here and to talk to you about some of the ideas that we were bouncing around and share them with you. So we both remembered the fact that at the beginning of a new school year, there is always so much uncertainty. You're kind of going in without very much information about what your training days look like, what you're expected to do. If you're lucky enough, you might have your timetable, but a lot of schools aren't giving them out prior to the start of term. You don't know your class list, you don't know what duties you're doing, what the cover's going to look like. All of those unknowns at the beginning of a busy school year really do already create a lot of anxiety and concern and stress, and schools should maybe try to do a little bit more to avoid this. But the reality is that there is always a lot of unknowns at the beginning of a school year, and we come straight off a very long holiday into having long days of training, long days of being taught at in a CPD, and our list then becomes bigger and bigger and bigger of all the things we have to do before the children actually arrive into the building. So we have this anxiety already, and then on top of that this year we have more anxiety and more stress and more unknown and more things out of our control, because we don't know what we'll be able to do in terms of teaching music, or what we'll be allowed to do in terms of teaching drama, and how do we make our curriculum work, and how do we fix that. And we were talking about what we normally do at the beginning of the year and all those lovely team building exercises and, the really engaging topics and units that capture the imaginations of students straight away, so they're engaged in our subjects and start to love our subjects and want to be involved in the productions and the concerts. And we were talking about that actually some of that required an awful lot of social interaction, so that we probably won't be able to do them to start with. And so we were talking about, well, we're going to have to change our curriculum around and do more units in a different way than we would normally do. And that meant that maybe we weren't quite so happy with our curriculum or what we were offering the children, because it wasn't the normal experience. And although we accepted that, it was still quite difficult to know what you can do and then to actually have to change it and adapt it. But really what came out of the conversation and why I wanted to jump on today and talk to you about it was, although there was all this anxiety and all this unknown, we were able to brainstorm and to come up with great ideas just on the telephone, having a conversation about what we could do. And although with our students, and although we can't maybe plan it completely in detail with lesson plans and assessment, we had the ideas. We knew that we could figure it out. We knew we could find solutions to make teaching drama or music effective for this forthcoming academic year. Even with all the uncertainty, we knew that we had to believe in ourselves, in the fact that we would figure it out. We would find a solution to keep children engaged in our subject and still passionate about our subject, and still build those really great teacher-student relationships that are really important in the arts. So really what I wanted to say to you is, I understand and I empathise with how stressful it all is at this moment in time for so many teachers around the world, particularly arts-based subjects where there is so much interaction, whether you're singing in a choir, playing in a band, working on a production. This whole social distancing is a real challenge for us. But we have to believe in the ability of us to figure a way out of it and a solution, and you will come up with work that the students will enjoy and will be able to access. Trust in yourself that you have those answers. Push the fear away and the anxiety away. When you come up with an idea and you go, oh, I can maybe do that, even if you haven't detailed it out in a massive lesson plan, just write those ideas, because you can come back to them and you can go, right, oh, that was a really great idea. I can develop that. Maybe I'll do monologues first, or maybe I'll do script reading, or maybe we'll do set design. And suddenly you kind of come up with all these new ideas that, okay, it's not those team building games that we normally do at the beginning of a year, but lots of students will still be engaged and enjoy that work. So, we have to adapt, and the students will adapt. We've been adapting all year. So don't take too much fear inside. Talk to colleagues, bounce ideas around, get on the online forums, share resources, look at what people are doing, talk to people, because you'll come up with the answers. We have the answers, we can do it, and we can still make music and drama fantastic experiences for students, even if they're not quite the programs we've done in the past. They will still be brilliant programs. We'll still be exposing students to the wonderful world of music and drama and the arts. So I hope that helps. And if you have any comments or questions or any concerns or anything you would like us to go over, or go into more detail in a future video, please leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel, share, let us know what you think, and I look forward to catching you again soon. I'm Rachel Hardman, and this is Passionate About Music Education.